I'm going to be talking about the changes that were made to Paladin and the other classes. Um, so Gladiator and Paladin. Iron Will, which is this lovely little skill here, the cooldown has been changed to 3-second recast time. So if you accidentally drop tank stance, you don't have to wait 10 seconds to get it back up. Clemency, our lovely little heal, will no longer interrupt combos. So if you do Fast Blade and then heal before this patch, it would negate having. You would have to start the combo back over at the beginning. Holy Spirit, same thing. Requiescat, this lovely thing, it has changed. The additional effect grants Blade of Faith ready when the effect of Requiescat ends, has been added. And it's a duration of 30 seconds. So you can see the additional effect. I'd mouse over it, but if I mouse over it, it's going... Yeah, it's... I can't mouse over it because... Yeah, it's going to disappear as soon as I move the mouse off the skill. Holy Circle no longer interrupts combos. Confiteor and its following skills now has a cure potency added to it. So Confiteor, Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, and Blade of Valor will all give a healing of 400 base when the skill is used. So you don't have to worry about popping a heal or anything while you're doing that. The last thing is Divine Magic Mastery, which is a trait. The second one now adds a healing effect to Confiteor as well as the other two skills. The other classes, I can't rightly show you very easily on this character, but I will go over them anyway. For tanks, all tank skills that are like Iron Will are now reduced to 3 seconds, so you can pop in and out of tank stance relatively quickly. For warriors, Overpower, which used to be a frontal cone attack, is now an AoE attack, much like Total Eclipse and Prominence are for Paladin. So it's no longer going to be a frontal cone attack. You treat it like all the other tanks with their AoEs. And then Inner Release, the stacks of Inner Release only apply to Fell Cleave and Decimate. The additional effect of Nullify Stun, Sleep, Bind, Heavy, and most knockback and drawns has been changed to grants Inner Strength, nullifying all those effects. Dark Knight, Blood of Darkness, potency has been reduced. That's their AoE tanking skill. Stalwart Soul is now acquired at level 40, previously level 72. So that's going to be a new skill that you have at a lower level. The Dark Knight's Oh Crap button has been altered. Whenever you connect with a weapon skill after you apply Living Death, you will now heal yourself for a with a cure potency of 1500. So every weapon skill that you do while that's active will help heal you, helping to mitigate the negative effects of Living Dead. If you get healed back up to your full life again after that happens, you will be given the effect of Undead Rebirth, with the duration carried over from the previous Walking Dead. And with Undead Rebirth, it's basically just you cannot be taken below 1 hit point. So, to explain that, when you activate Living Death, you have to be healed your life amount or you will die. You don't lose life. It is, I am activating this skill, meaning that I need to be healed up to my full life, or I'm going to die at the end of this skill. So with the change that they've made, it is now a 2-phase buff that propagates the invulnerability to drop below 1 hit point for the entire duration if you get healed above it. You will still die if you don't get healed above it, however, it will not just drop off you if you get healed above it. And they added the self-healing ability in there as well, so it's going to be a much easier to survive popping Living Dead, and it's not going to be, you just need to be rezzed immediately after activating Living Dead, which is what it's been like in the past. So that's a very good change for Dark Knight. Gunbreaker, only thing that's changed is the tanking stance thing. Monk, perfect balance can no longer be executed while under the effect of Beast Chakra. So that just means that you're not able to activate a skill while you... I haven't played Monk yet, so I do not remember the skills. It's just negating the activation of a skill that I'm guessing would be redundant while you're under Beast Chakra. Alright, Dragoon. Some fun changes here. All of the jump animations have been shortened. That means you are going to be able to move a lot sooner after doing a jump ability. So that applies to jump, high jump, elusive jump, spine shatter dive, and dragonfire dive. All the jumps. The other thing to look out for with Dragoon is when you are Mirage Dive ready, jump is going to change to Mirage Dive, so you're not going to have a separate button on your bar for that. Rogue Ninja changes. Hide will now display the effects of Doton upon execution. Doton is, if memory serves, the AoE ground spot that you put down that deals damage over time and snares enemies that walk through it. A very good change to Mug. It now will increase the target's damage taken by 5% for 20 seconds. So that means that Mug is now going to be useful in combat instead of just an extra attack that might give you extra loot on non-boss enemies. Trick Attack has had its damage... has had its... One second, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I apologize in advance. So Trick Attack will have the additional effect of increases the dart... Basically, the damage boost from Trick Attack is going from 5% to 10%, so it's a net increase there. So you can toss Trick Attack on them, mug them, that's going to be net 15% damage on the target. I don't know if Trick Attack still requires you to be behind the target to execute it for the damage boost. If you play Ninja, just keep an eye on that. Aeolian Edge has had its damage potency increased for both normal and rear combo potency. Shukichi, which is the teleport skill, has had the action animation shortened. So much like the Dragoon skills, the animation is going to be faster, so you can actually recover or do things quickly after, instead of wait for the animation to finish and then get hit by the AoE. Doton has had its potency increased, but its duration has been reduced to 18 seconds from 26. So it will do more damage, but it will last shorter. Ake Mujinsatsu has had its combo potency increased to 130 from 120. Armor Crush has had its potency increased in both normal and combo. Baba Sakura, the potency has been reduced from 400 to 350. Phantom Kamaitachi has had its potency increased to 600, and Melee Mastery is now acquired at 74 instead of 84, so the all of these potency increases now happen at an earlier level. Let's go find something fun to watch while I go through the rest of these. Here, we'll stare out at the tower. We will stare out at the tower. Come on. There we go. Stare out at the tower. Crystal Tower. It's always foggy or cloudy here, so... Alright, moving on to Samurai. Hakaze has had its potency increased to 200. Jinpu has had its potency increased to 120. Third Eye's duration has been increased to 4 seconds. Shifu's potency has been increased to 120. Gecko's potency has been increased in normal, its combo, and its rear combo. Higanbana, the damage over time potency has been increased considerably, from 30 to 45. Mangetsu has had its potency increased. Kasha, potency increased for combo and flank and normal. Tenkagoken, the area of effect has been changed from a cone to all nearby enemies. So it is no longer a frontal cone. You just run in, you stand on the tank, you do your AoEs. You no longer have to position yourself for that. Oka has had its combo potency increased. Yukikaze has had its potency increased and its combo potency increased. 1 second. Let's see. Midari Setsugeka has had its potency reduced. The potency has been reduced from 660 to 600, but it is now guaranteed critical. So you might not be doing as much damage generally, but you are going to crit with it every time. Meikyo Shisui is ranged weapon skills no longer count towards the effects of that action. So I'm guessing that's either that is... I haven't played Samurai, so I don't know how that's going to affect it. Either it's going to prevent stacks from being removed by using a ranged skill, or it's going to no longer increase stacks by using the ranged weapon skill. Because I know using the ranged weapon skill, sometimes you could use that to increase the counter on some things, or if you're running away from something and you use a ranged weapon skill and you got stacks of something, it would boost the damage of that. So regardless, I think that's going to be a benefit long run. I'd have to check the class, but I think that's a good thing. Hisatsu Shinten is now acquired at level 52, and the potency has been reduced to 250. Hisatsu Yaten, activation time has been adjusted to match that of other backstep actions. So I think it's going to be down to 15 seconds? 15 or 25 seconds, I believe. Hisatsu Kyuten is now acquired at level 62 instead of 64. Kaishi Higanbana, potency has been reduced to 200. That's from 300 to 200. Kaishi Goken, potency has been reduced from 420 to 280, and the area of effect has been changed to a point-blank AoE, so it's no longer a cone in front of you. So they are normalizing all AoEs for melee classes to be point-blank AoE. That's what I'm seeing here. Kaishi Setsugeka, the potency has been reduced to 600 from 990, but it is also now a guaranteed crit. Shoha has had its potency reduced to 500. Ogi Namikiri, the potency has been reduced from 900 to 800, but it's also a guaranteed critical. And Kaishi Namikiri, the potency has been reduced from 1350 to 800, but it is also a guaranteed critical. Alright, Reaper. Not much for Reaper. Hell's Ingress the duration of Enhanced Harp has been increased to 20 seconds. The action animation has been shortened. Hell's Egress, the duration of Enhanced Harp has been increased to 20 seconds, and the animation has been shortened. And Regress, the action animation has been shortened. Okay, Archer Bard. And I saw something in the patch notes regarding an ongoing issue, and I will get to that with Bard stuff. So, Repelling Shot, the range to activate it, thankfully, has been increased from 5 yards to 15 yards. Yalm's yards, I'm just using what you'll recognize as a unit of measurement that sounds normal. So you don't have to run up to the boss to activate it to jump back, and its activation time has been adjusted to match other backstep abilities. A fun one, Battle Voice no longer requires having a song active, so you can activate Battle Voice without starting a song first, which is going to change some bards' activation because the song's being activated is an attack. Having Battle Voice active before activating that can potentially give you a little bit extra damage, so something to keep in mind. And Wanderer's Minuet, action now changes to pitch perfect upon execution. You shouldn't have to change your bars, but know that where you have had pitch perfect for the attacks is now going to be Wanderer's Minuet on your bars. So be careful. You might accidentally activate Wanderer's Minuet without activating it. However, the bug that is going on right now is that if there are more than one bard in the party, and one of them activates Wanderer's Minuet, it will change all bards to having pitch perfect ready. So even if you're singing another song, we'll see how that works, and how they fix that. So that's something to worry about with Bard. Moving on, Machinist. Heat Blast has had its potency increased at 180. Wildfire, the potency increase per weapon skill landed has been increased to 200. Drill, potency has been increased to 580. Air Anchor, its potency has been increased to 580. Pile Bunker has been increased from 650 to 680. Crowned Collider has increased from 750 to 780. Chainsaw has had its potency increased to 580. So, net gain across the board for Machinist. All their skills that I listed have gone up in skill. Damage. Dancer. Alright, Dancer. I have played Dancer, but I don't know how this is going to affect. So, Standard Step, Embois, Entrechat, Jet, and Pirouette have all been changed to be classified as a weapon skill. Cascade now has the additional effect of granting flourishing symmetry. Oh no. They have changed some of the terminology, it looks like. So it looks like Cascade, it is still going to be doing the same thing, but it is no longer going to be using Flourishing, it's going to be using Silken as the nomenclature. And that's true of Cascade, Fountain, and Windmill. Or whether it's going to be Flow or Symmetry. Reverse Cascade, yeah, it looks like it is, from here on out, it is just changing of nomenclature. So, Flourishing skills are now Silken skills. So, not much there aside from tooltip changes. The last thing is Technical Step is also now going to be categorized as a weapon skill. So it looks like everything is going to be sharing cooldowns as weapon skills. Alright. Arcanist and Summoner. Ruby Ruin. Recast time has been increased to 3 seconds. Potency has been increased to 340. Ruby Outburst. The recast time has been increased to 3 seconds. And potency has been increased to 160. Ruby Ruin 2, Ruby Ruin 3, Ruby Right, all of them have been increased to 3-second cast times. Ruby Disaster, Ruby Catastrophe as well. But Ruin 2, potency has been increased to 380. Ruin 3, potency has been increased to 410. Ruby Right, potency has been increased to 510. Searing Light, action is now executed directly from the caster rather than via Carbuncle. Ruby Disaster has had its potency increased to 190. Ruby Catastrophe up to 210. And Ruin Mastery 4 increases the potency for Ruby Right, has been changed from 450 to 510. Red Mage. Displacement, their backstep ability, the action animation has been shortened. Alright, so White Mage. Stone's base magic MP cost has been reduced from 400 to 200. At the same time, Stone 2, Stone 3. Okay, we'll just go through them. So Stone magic cost has been reduced, no change to potency. Arrow, the MP has been reduced from 400 to 200, but its duration has been increased to 30 seconds, so you don't have to apply your dots as often. Stone 2 also has had its magic cost reduced. Regen, MP cost has been reduced to 400. Cure 3, the area of effect of radius has been increased to 10 yalms, which 10 yards, 10 yalms, interchangeable. That is kind of big because Cure 3 was a very situational type cure, and usually if you cast it on a tank, it wasn't close enough to the butt of the boss to heal the people behind it. So, remember, Cure 3 is targeted AoE, whereas most of the other AoE heals are point blank around the healer. So that's a nice change to Cure 3. Arrow 2, MP cost reduced to 200, duration to 30 seconds. Asylum, range has been increased from 8 to 10 yalms. So you've got another point blank AoE, or point blank area of effect heal that has a larger area now. Secret of the Lily, time before a lily is added to the healing gauge has been reduced from once every 30 seconds to once every 20 seconds. So you will get a lily every 20 seconds, up to 3 after a minute instead of 90 seconds. So that's going to make their healing capabilities a lot better. Stone 3, the potency has been reduced to 220, and the MP cost has been reduced to 300 instead of 400. Stone 4, potency has just been reduced to 260. Afflatus Misery, potency has been increased from 900 to 1240. Reduction in potency after the first enemy has been... So, the damage done is going to be increased, or getting ahead of myself and not knowing what I want to say, so apologies. So the potency has been increased, and the damage reduction after it hits the first target is no longer going to be down to 25%, it's only going to be down to 50%. So instead of hitting the first target and then losing 75% potency after that, it's now hitting the first target and only losing half potency after that. Alright, Liturgy of the Bell. The additional healing effect from the remaining stacks of Liturgy will now be triggered when time expires or upon executing this action a second time. So, some really nice gains for White Mage there. Scholar. Ruin. MP cost has been reduced to 300. Embrace. Range from which party members can be targeted has been increased. So your fairy is now able to heal farther. Bio and Bio 2 have had their MP cost reduced to 300. Sacred Soil has had its area of effect increased to 10 yalms. So that's going to be good. That's damage reduction shield. Expedient. Effect duration of Expedient has been reduced from 20 to 10 seconds. So that is going to be something to adjust to. Astrologian, the only change is to the duration of their dot. It has been increased to 30 seconds. For Sage, Dosis, the MP cost has been reduced to 300. Soteria now grants 4 stacks of the Soteria effect. Each potency has been increased from 50% to 70%. Adder Sting, you now gain maximum stacks of Adder Sting upon entering an instance or restarting an instance battle. So that's going to be really good for the Sage. New traits have been added for 2 classes. We have Ninja with Melee Mastery 2, which increases the potency of Spinning Edge and Gust Slash. You get that at 84. Samurai has had 2 traits added. Way of the Samurai and Way of the Samurai 2, and they each increase various skills potencies at level 66 and at 84. And Hisatsu Kaiten has been removed from Samurai. So, those are the changes that have been made to the classes in this. There are a few bugs going around, but they should be patched within the week. Expect downtime for the next few days after about 2 p.m. Pacific time. But it's going to be worth it. This is fun. Now, the next thing that we're going to get to, the changes of duties. So we already finished the raid today. Adjustments have been made to the following dungeons and trials. Copperbell Mines, Thousand Maws of Totorak, Hawk Manor, Brayflox's Longstep, Zaymel Darkhold, Stone Vigil, Cape Westwind, Castor Meridian, and the Praetorium. So, those are the ones that we are going to be going through and having fun in to relearn what's going on. We've got the PvP stuff in the patch notes. We got the Garo armor that's come back. Really fun, really looking forward to getting that stuff now. New clothing, new crafting stuff, new stuff for... Oh, animations have just been adjusted for some of the Disciples of the Land and of the Hand. New items have been added, new fish have been added, new mounts have been added, new minions, new things. So, oh, they updated the they updated a lot of stuff. So, if you've reached this point in the video and you have questions, please ask them. I'm gonna separate this section out as going over patch notes, focusing on classes. So, I hope that you found something useful. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it informative. If you want to see more Final Fantasy XIV videos, please like, follow, and subscribe. The usual YouTube stuff. To catch me live, check out my Twitch, link in the description. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.